When are the Hutch leaks coming? Listen, I've been fucking shacked up with the same woman for 10 years now. My life is very boring, and I love that my life is very boring. If my shit hacked now, the biggest risk to me would be just what a fucking nerd I am. People looking at my YouTube history and watching me watch like MCU film rumor videos 5 times a day. Recall that we were having a conversation about Destiny earlier, and I was telling you guys that I think he would be a lot more effective if he didn't create so much controversy that I think serves as a distraction. And I just want you to keep that in your minds as we review this video.
Destiny video, a lot has changed. We have a court document from Pixie's legal team alleging that he was deleting evidence, specifically messages with multiple women who have claimed that he shared sex videos with them without the participants' consent. So he wasn't just sharing videos with Rose, he was sending it to other women who then told Pixie. I had a conversation with Anna, who claims Destiny sent her videos of girls that she'd never seen before.
So I've been sent videos. I have no way of knowing if they were consensually, like, recorded or sent.
In my last video, I made clear that if Destiny wanted to be taken seriously again, he'd have to own up to what he did. He's always preaching about accountability, but now when it's his time to finally own up, he doesn't. Instead, he tells me he's going to drop the manifesto to end all manifestos. I was not very confident as the evidence against him was already damning. He literally admitted fault. Aaron tells Destiny, "You distributed it non-consensually." And Destiny replies, "Yeah, I know. I have damaged her severely." He tells Pixie, "I'm so sorry, there's literally zero excuse." But he tries to recontextualize this in our interview.
When I sent that message to Pixie, I was like, I feel fucking horrible. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I've psychologically damaged you. You're like, this is horrible, whatever. I do feel horrible. It has nothing to do with whether or not I consent to send the video. I just feel horrible that something that I was involved in ended up leaking publicly. Like, even if she would have said, like, even if that wouldn't have been sent to anybody, if somebody would have, like, hacked my Google Drive, I would have said the exact same thing.
So was his manifesto good? Well, it seems to have persuaded much of his own community, with many of the top comments praising him. However, when you get down to the meat of the argument he's making, it doesn't change anything. I confront him about doxing, pedo allegations, as well as converse with people from his past. This is the Destiny manifesto. For those DMs about you saying like, hey, I wish this person, has this person been doxed yet?
Yeah, for Anna, that's bullshit. For just like Queeman, I'd kill him if I could. I'd choke the fucking house and do it. Bro, I swear to God, if I quit streaming, I'm gonna fucking go on an assassination mission, okay? People are gonna start disappearing one at a time, okay?
That's why this video is sponsored by Aura. In a topic where people's personal...
Willy, you know, of all creators, like Willy's segues into his ad reads are just fucking top tier, just amazing.
Video. We gotta find... Destiny's manifesto spends a lot of time clarifying that he is the biggest victim of these leaks.
It's incredibly bizarre how many people are fixated on insisting that I'm not a victim in this when I was the primary target of the entire revenge porn posting. While other people were undeniably harmed by these leaks, they were seen as collateral damage to the publisher of the material and the website providing hosting for it in the goal to attack me, whether it was through reputation, monetary harm, or just some other form of sadistic.
I mean, he's just right about that. Like, I don't know why that's controversial. Like that other people were victimized in the process doesn't change the fact that, you know, it's just patently true that Destiny was the primary target, right?
Humiliation.
Nobody is denying that you are also a victim. Nobody is denying that the hacker is a bad guy. But the only reason there is collateral damage is you. If you didn't non-consensually share these girls' images, there would be nothing for the hacker to leak. I feel like he knows this. He's just trying to mitigate accountability in front of his audience. In Destiny's video, he does provide some background information on the hacker, who goes by the name Solo.
Solo messaged me sometime in the morning and said that he was unhappy with how the coverage of the leaks had been so far. He felt as though people weren't giving it enough attention, so he was going to leak more from my logs with Rose if I didn't allow him to come on my stream and speak with me. I don't exactly remember what the message to me was, as I just woken up, read it, and then responded briefly before going back to sleep. The next time I checked my messages with him, everything had been deleted.
Luckily, I have them.
Could be wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like his stuff still sort of shows up on my feed sometimes, and I feel like he was saying something as recently as maybe 2 weeks ago that he and his lawyers expect that the entire case is going to be thrown out. Do we have any update on the... I guess he's probably going to get into the case.
Messages. The messages are Solo demanding Destiny talk to him on stream, or else he's going to leak all the DMs and videos he shared with Rose. He also threatens to release Rose's real age, saying, "You were negligent in verifying her age even after you joked about her looking so young that you would need her ID to make sure she was really even 18. The only other time I heard this allegation of Rose being potentially underage is when I interviewed Kelly Jean.
So he tweeted like a bit over a week ago that the Rose girl was an OnlyFans girl. She's not. She never had an OnlyFans. She was never on any platform that could have verified her identity.
Why is she known as like a Fansly OnlyFans e-girl?
She sold nudes via Twitter. So it's not that we're trying to say Destiny's a pedophile. It's that we're saying Destiny is reckless.
I'm gonna be real, she does end up doing that. It's very much what she would imply. She'd list all this evidence for why Destiny should have been suspicious that she was underage.
Also, didn't bother to check someone's like age, right? It's like a...
Should she claim she was underage?
She said she was 19 to him. That is true. But she also said... or 18 or 19. I think she said in messages she was 18 and then turned 19 is most likely the case. She was also saying, she was saying to Destiny, I can't come see you because my parents won't let me. So there was like a lot of like, within these messages, sort of tone indicators that this is a very young person. So when someone says OnlyFans, they're spreading a piece of misinformation in his benefit. Because if she did do OnlyFans, he could say, well, this website, which is known for verifying people's identity and age, says she's 19. Therefore, it's reasonable to think that she's 19. In this case,
I personally
there is
feel
none of
like that
right?
is too convoluted of an argument. And if she lied about her age, I'm probably not going to hold him accountable unless I see evidence that is very obvious that she's lying, or he asked for ID or some shit and she's going no.
So he does do that. He he makes a message saying,
is that
do you
in the
have
leak that...
I'll have to find the exact quotation of when he mentions identity.
Kelly never proves this. She links me to the hacker telling Destiny she was underage, and Destiny replies saying she told him she was of age selling not safe for work material.
When we started talking, she told me she was of age. The solo guy on Kiwi Farms says as much. I don't think she's underage. I don't think she was ever underage. Well, I mean, except for when she was underage, but before I talked to her.
When navigating Kiwi Farms, the hacker himself would clarify in a later post, to Rose's knowledge, Destiny did not know her real age. And even if he did not make it known to her.
I don't know anything about all this stuff. Like what? I don't know who this Rose person is. I am completely in the dark.
I don't believe Destiny is a pedophile. Now, apparently there are DMs jokingly asking for ID, commenting on how young she looks.
If I go to a club and I f someone underage, it doesn't matter that I ask for their age if they turn out to be younger. You're still going to get prosecuted the same way. It's like the onus is on you. You can use...
I know I feel like it's different policy state to state, but if you're in like Texas and you're 25 years old and you sleep with someone and then you find out after the fact that they're a minor, and then that might like the minor like showed you like a fake ID, I think you can still be prosecuted, but I feel like it depends on the state. Are there federal laws governing this stuff?
Use that as a defense only to a point, especially if there are other reasons to believe this person could be underage, as there is in this case.
Rose is the person he sent all the leaked content to a guy. Oh.
Or at least you are not sure.
This happened to NBA player Josh Giddey, and he got acquitted.
No, I don't think we can confirm their identity. So Rose's boyfriend says she was 17 at the time, and I don't know if she says she was 18 or 19 at the time of sending things.
I get what you're getting at. I need more before I'm comfortable going that far.
Yeah.
Kelly wasn't able to ever find me this message, so I asked Destiny about it. Did she ever engage with you or like show you like a site where maybe it did check for age verification at any point?
I'm trying to think of how much.
Like at some point.
No, well, the answer is yes. So like she active user of I think Tinder to find hookups and shit. And Tinder is an 18 or older app.
And Destiny sent me messages he had with Rose and her talking about using Tinder. I haven't used Tinder in like 8 years, so I don't know. Google says it verifies age. There needs to be more tangible evidence. Right now, the worst case scenario is that she might have lied to him. And that's the end of the good news for Destiny. Like, yes, congrats, you're not a pedophile, but the few extra wins he racks up during his manifesto are just so insignificant. You know, yes, Pixie did ask for a comical amount of money.
Her first demand letter to me was for a total apology, and then at least $15 million in compensation.
Swinging for the fences there.
Fuck that.
Yes, people weaponizing your nudes against you is wrong.
Was now in an impossible position.
I don't even know what the precedent is for this kind of thing. I've never even heard of it. I'm sure this is not the first time something like this has ever happened. in a world with, 8 billion people, I do think that she's entitled to significant compensation. Like, 7 figures minimum. I think that that's perfectly reasonable. But I don't know. I just assume this would be a case that her lawyers kind of came up with that number, and maybe they were like figuring that it would be negotiated down. I would assume would be what would be happening in the spot.
Position. A revenge point of me was still being blasted across the internet with family members, including my 13-year-old son, being spammed with explicit videos of me, sometimes even by popular social media personalities like Just a Minx. I guess it's because I'm a guy at school. I'm trying to get better, but the image of Destiny sucking that is ruining it. Based. And then this is just her casually, replying to tweets of mine,
Complaining about is what Pixie and everyone else you shared videos of has to go through now too. You chose to share videos of yourself with an e-girl. They didn't. You made that decision for them. He acts like this is a...
But you have completely taken one PR line and accepted it as a fact without ever digging past the surface. I'm not even sure what you're referring to there.
Everybody signed up for, which is not true.
For people who are extremely concerned with their privacy or material possibly leaking, I generally just recommend that we don't record any...
Pixie lied too, and I stopped giving a after this drama. After that, still watching Destiny streams. I'm not sure what you're referring to when it comes to Pixie there.
Anything at all, as there's always some risk that stuff can leak.
What he's not acknowledging is the risk was him. I'm seeing Destiny.
I think both Pixie and Destiny did horrible shit in this situation. Pixie did less horrible shit than Destiny. What horrible shit did Pixie do? What are you even talking to?
In his DGG chat saying he's not going to sue the hacker anymore. I'm probably not going to push it any farther since it's just bad publicity for me now. And Pixie is forcing us both to waste tens of thousands of dollars fighting each other now. Lol W. So I'm supposed to care about the sob story with Minx and Kiwi Farms hosting his nudes when he doesn't even want to pursue the culprits anymore.
It's incredibly bizarre how many people are fixated on insisting that I'm not a victim in this when I was the primary target of the entire revenge porn posting. While other people were undeniably harmed by these leaks, they were seen as collateral damage to the publisher of the material and the website providing hosting for it in the goal to attack me, whether it was through reputation, monetary harm, or just some other form of sadistic humiliation.
You were the primary target, but the collateral damage is because of you. Destiny never acknowledges this. He has the money to do it all. He's mad at Pixie though because in her story, he's not the victim. He's the bad guy. Now Pixie took him to court, and part of when you do that is you don't get an instant public-facing apology. I understand that, but instead of staying quiet, Destiny claims he had implied consent because Pixie...
I don't know where you saw any. I mean, like, look, I could be completely out of the loop here, but Fezzi, I'm not even sure where you saw that. Apparently, she was also trading around nudes like Destiny without perms. I haven't heard anything about that.
He sent a video of herself with another guy before.
With that out of the way, conversations guessing as to whether or not any of the leaked material was consensually shared was a hot topic of discussion following the initial leaks. Pixie would send messages to people to tell them that she had never sent videos of other people to me before, and she portrayed herself in her Substack as though I was the first person to ever suggest this to her.
She responded to his manifesto, and I assume that WillyMac is going to address that in this video.
And I was the first person she ever recorded material with. I know that she's messaged people with stuff like this.
To me, her lying about the nature of their sexting would only make her a hypocrite. It doesn't make sharing other people's nudes without their consent.
Pixie lied in her Substack that she was sexually inexperienced prior to Destiny, despite her sending porn of herself with other people to Destiny prior to them filming. That doesn't mean that someone's super experienced. What do you mean? Wait, what? What is that logic? Because if somebody engaged in like exchanging of nudes previous to another sexual relationship, that means that they can't be inexperienced. What if they only had like 1 or 2 partners? Like, I would say someone who has only had like 2 partners, I would still call that like sexually inexperienced. Or like, if you haven't had long-term relationships with a sexual relationship, like maybe if you've slept with a couple people, but they weren't like long-term, I would still say that that's pretty inexperienced.
Okay, he doesn't even know if she didn't have consent.
Pixie was comfortable sending me videos of her and other identifiable men, with them even having saved the videos on their own phones. I took videos of some guy, I can send you later if you're interested. Sure, I'll send them to you when I get them. At no point in any of these conversations did Pixie ever mention having explicit consent from any of these other men to share these videos with me. I have no way of contacting them today to find out if she did. All this to say...
Yeah, the day after you lose your virginity, you're a sex god. Exactly, yeah.
Was being reasonable.
That's exactly what that logic is, yeah.
Understood by both sides of this situation.
What do you mean? How? He's assuming that she didn't have permission from this guy when he has no reason to believe that. And in what world does this give him consent to share her nudes? This makes no sense. This was the manifestos to end all manifestos. And it's literally debunked by his own logic in our interview. One of the leaks on Kiwi Farms was a blowjob.
I don't know if he is going to respond, but Pixie did directly address that by saying she did have consent with her previous partner to send videos before.
Recording that happened with a guy he met on Grindr. And the recording allegedly starts before he walks into the guy's apartment. And if you read the DM of Destiny sharing the video to Rose, he says, "This is just the end. Again, audio scuffed because my phone was in my pocket," implying that the video was secretly recorded. Here is Destiny's defense.
Well, why would he have it in his pocket and not record the thing with the video? It must be because he's not letting the person know. He's secretly recording them.
Yeah, sure. So here, okay, so let me preface this by saying the only reason that recording that you're talking about is leaked is because I think all the girls that started messaging afterwards were like, "Oh my God, this might be non-consensual, blah, blah, blah." I think that group of people started leaking shit to Kiwi Farms of hookups that nobody is alleging anything wrong has happened. So it's very annoying. And that what you're talking about, like literally audio, that entire
No, there was one person specifically that was alleging that they had been shown evidence in private that they were recorded without their consent. I mean, I don't know what he's talking about there.
thing is now just public for no reason. So that is revenge porn of me posted that everybody's just spreading because it's fucking epic and hilarious. Okay.
That makes sense.
In all honesty, what's probably going to happen here is the case will be dropped or settled. Then this will fade into internet obscurity until it gets brought up years from now as a one-off insult in the middle of a debate. I mean, Vosh literally accidentally showed his underage cartoon porn, and his career is fine. I mean, I don't disagree with what you're saying at all. I think that's very likely what is going to happen. Yeah.
Sense to me. If the guy involved isn't claiming wrongdoing at this point, who cares? It's irrelevant.
That being said, generally with guys on Grindr, there are guys that I've spoken with, and some people are like, "Hey, are you happy? Or are you comfortable recording stuff? Do you want to do video?" Most guys aren't comfortable with video. A couple have been, obviously, hence my fucking leaks. Some guys are like, "Okay, cool. You know, like audio is fine. I don't care as long as you can identify." That's why I don't even know how many of my things have been leaked to this point, but like it's pretty obvious the guy can like see my phone or he said like, "Oh, whatever." I think for that particular one, now I think this recording was like 5 years or 4 years ago, so I don't remember. But for this particular guy, he had said, "Listen, if you want to record your audio, that's fine, but like, don't pull your phone out. I don't want to see it. I'm like really paranoid about my face getting recorded." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll just probably start it before I come to the apartment." Or whatever. He's like, "That's fine. Just like don't pull your phone out because that would like it's like he's just like paranoid about like me recording his face." I was like, "Okay." That was the hookup story for that dude. But it's really gay to talk about this because, well, one, it's actually gay, but then two, also nobody's alleging like any wrongdoing for any of these hookups. So it's like really weird that because other people are literally leaking and spreading revenge porn to me, and then they're having me like describe like this fucking hookup works, so I know it's consensual. Like nobody's even making an allegation of this. Like I don't know if this is going to turn into like every single like I don't know if people are going to start leaking every single video of every.
I feel like that's not true. I feel like people did specifically allege that they were recorded without consent.
Recorded, and they're like, "I need you to explain to me like what was
it more than one?"
It's like nobody's going to make an allegation about this. Why the fuck are you talking about all my hookups? It's cringy and gross and weird. But that's my. Yeah, I mean that's for that. Yeah.
If he's not complaining about it, then how do we know?
Nobody else. Yeah. Nobody else.
Yeah.
Started, yes.
But that same logic
Cherry came forward and
entirely debunks Destiny's implied consent defense for Pixie because that guy's not out here complaining. In fact, Pixie claims she had consent from him, actual consent to send those videos. She writes, "This is false. This guy was my ex who consented to sharing. I was not."
So he did show her response to it.
Recording random one-night stands. I'll be real, the DMs she links don't really prove anything, but then a guy named Tom asks, "The question is whether or not you had consent to share the videos." She clarifies, "I had consent. I believe the courts will exonerate me." So Destiny's entire defense of calling Pixie a hypocrite is debunked by his own logic. It comes off as incredibly desperate. She says, "Destiny, you are now using intimate details of my life against me. I need you to stop. You've already shared some of my most intimate moments for the world to see. Why are you forcing me to share more?" Another defense Destiny alludes to in his response is that he was part of the scandalous videos, therefore that makes it okay to share. In a way, Pixie is kind of like the perfect victim.
It seems like she shared nudes with you. You shared them with a third party. That party got hacked. It all leaks.
And wait, I want to clarify a couple things. Hold on, just real quick. I never sent nudes that somebody sent me to somebody else. I've never done that before. It's really weird. I've only ever sent videos that I'm in. Now, sometimes those videos are with other people, but like in terms of me sending anything to another person, it's like it's because I'm in it, not because somebody else is in it. Just to be super clear on that. To some people, that doesn't matter. For other people, that's like a really big point because when that post was written for Pixie, it was written like he wanted to show my body off and blah blah blah. That's not true at all. It's like, she's not even naked in that.
Well, I mean, she's obviously like a part of that video. She's like an essential part of that video. So like, even if the kink is like, here's me in a sexual position, you still need a partner to be in that position.
Video.
That doesn't make any difference to me. He violated the person's trust in sharing the intimate video in the first place. Him being part of it or not.
Edmard said after the allegation from Cherry, there was also a screenshot of a G Drive link that was apparently a recording of I don't know about all that. Like, if the court case continues and there's more filings, I'm sure, you know, we'll have a lot more details at some point.
Not changes nothing. It seems like the only reason he would bring this up is if he felt like there was some sort of legal distinction.
I talk about anything that's related, like
I'm
specifically
going to
to any
ask
of
the
the
question,
like causes of action.
and then you
Yeah, go.
say if it can be allowed in the video or not. Because if not, I'm not trying to anybody. Okay.
Oh,
You very much clarified you're part of these videos too. Guess what I'm wondering is, does that make a legal distinction? Is that why you clarified that?
there's two parts that are really important that I'm okay comfortable talking about. So for one part of a legal distinction here, and this is annoying because it applies legally and it applies morally, I think, and I guess it applies to the PR angle too. Like, I have never ever in my life, like,
Probably best to wait for the court case. I mean, I'm gonna wait for more details before coming to like very specific determinations, but there is enough in the public sphere at this point to have certain opinions. Yeah.
try to like shit on somebody by like sharing like a revenge porn.
Like, for example, it seems pretty open and shut that he shared nudes with someone without their permission. Like, he himself seemingly has admitted to that multiple times in private correspondence that since became public. So I feel like you're entitled to have an informed opinion at that point. Now, are there going to be like granular details that maybe change kind of this thing or that thing on the margins of the story? Yeah, maybe, probably, right? But the core of the allegation remains pretty like rock solid. Like, somebody woke up one day and images of them of a sexually explicit nature were being passed around to like thousands or perhaps millions of people, and they had never intended those videos to be public. I'm speaking about Pixie in this spot. And yeah, there's enough info to feel like she was like certainly victimized, would be a good word for it, right?
Thing of them.
You're talking about like the maliciousness of it, right?
Yeah, because some
Now there would be like, that's the distinction that they're kind of going into now. Like, Destiny wants there to be this really big distinction because he didn't intend for these pictures to come out. He didn't intend for this harm to befall Pixie. Seems like he's really counting on that being like exonerating in some way, but and there is a difference. Like, there's a spectrum of wrongdoing. And so like on one spectrum, maliciously, like knowingly sending someone nudes out in order to humiliate them and intentionally violate their trust in a way to like direct harm their way, that would be much worse than what is going on here. But I don't think that the fact that there's something worse that's possible makes what already happened here necessarily any better. It's okay, yeah, it's, you know, that's worse in comparison, but there's still a lot of damage here, right?
some people are saying like, oh, I was trying to like humiliate, you know, like I'm trying to humiliate. Like, no, I've never in my life have I done that. I would never do it. Well, I mean, there was 14 years ago with the one blue tea girl. That was shitty behavior of me for sure.
Blue T was somebody that Destiny sexted and then shared their nudes with his buddies, at least according to Ryan Beard's video, an old forum post I could find online.
Just thought it would be funny to share this woman's private nudes with his friends and joke about how f***ing hideous her face is compared to her beautiful body. And he also insulted her because he thought she looked like Shrek. So he shared a woman's private nudes without consent for the purpose of degrading her. In response, Blue T hacked Destiny's Twitter and tweeted out pictures of his dick.
She didn't deserve any of that. That was me being a retard or whatever. Like, I agree with that. But like, I've never in my life, like I'm never like sending videos or pictures and like, oh yeah, this is going to humiliate this person. Huh? Like, that's just insane. Okay. That claim is insane. Nothing that's
Didn't Pixie openly speculate that Destiny did it on purpose and maliciously did it to her? She did, and I feel like a lot of people were giving her shit for that because, I mean, I don't think there's strong evidence that that's what he did. I don't think there's any evidence that he did it maliciously to harm her. But when you've experienced harm on that scale like she did, it's easy to imagine why somebody would speculate that that's what happened. You know what I mean? Like, it's like if you put yourself in her shoes, and then try to imagine going through that experience of feeling violated in such a public way, then your brain's gonna go to places like that. I feel like that's like seems like a pretty human reaction, right?
Leaked from my logs implies that. I've never had a conversation leaked that implies that I would ever do that to somebody. Like, that's just wild. Yeah.
Just to be clear, these, because I have not seen the videos, just to be clear, there is videos of Pixies that were leaked. She was not aware that you shared these with Rose.
I can't speak to that. I will clarify one thing.
Fair enough.
It's video. It's one singular video.
The Blue Tea drama happened in 2012, and if he was caught sharing...
Wow. I mean, I don't... Does anybody dispute that happened at this point? Is anybody denying that that's what happened? At this point, the distinction between one video or several videos doesn't really seem material to come to a conclusion about this or to have an opinion about it.
Sharing nudes then, and he was caught sharing nudes.
Does any party dispute or deny that videos of Pixie were released without her consent? I don't know if anyone has denied that.
Now, that means he was probably sharing nudes in all the years in between. In fact, right after the Pixie drama blew up in January, DMs from a girl named Hannah leaked showing Destiny seemingly still trying to share nudes, saying, oof, I guess now that some stuff is...
I understand her perspective. I feel bad for her. Doing that could sink her case. I mean, I'm not up to date on Florida law, so I don't think I can opine one way or the other there, but I don't know if that would sink her case, right?
LMAO, if you want videos of me eating, I got them. She laughs and then says, haha, no.
He might be limited in what he might say because of the legal stuff, of course.
Oh, don't show me that. Those are super private. I can't imagine how it feels having something so private be public, even if you were poly. Now, this is crazy because behind the scenes, Pixie is saying he ruined her life and is posting her suicide note to him less than a month earlier. And if he was still doing this, that is psychotic behavior. Now, Destiny would claim that this was all just edgy jokes that took place when they were flirting. He deleted his DMs, so it's hard to understand the full context.
This is like half on the record, off the record. I don't give a fuck. Figure out what you want to put on.
Is it safe to say that no matter the outcome of this, Destiny will probably fuck up again? I mean, I can't speak to his moral journey. People, I know a lot of people that engage in sort of self-destructive behavior at various points in their lives, and then they turn things around. It's possible that people turn things around. And according to him and a lot of his viewers, Destiny's viewers, he already has, like, this is not behavior that he does anymore, is what I've heard from him and other people. But
okay, well, hold on.
A lot of dark humor. Okay, I've made jokes about a lot of things that people come back and try to make me sound like a sociopath. Like, me and my kid's mom used to be physically abusive towards each other, and some people will link clips of me talking about it 10 years ago. He said he used to choke out his ex.
Even if he went down to hold her to stop throwing shit instead of hitting her, I'm almost 100% sure everyone would be saying the same shit. He had to leave her. He is going, of course.
Was he interacting with chat while he was driving? Jesus Christ.
Dude, I wish I would have filmed my shit with Rachel. I wouldn't have any fucking fans today because you guys would probably think I'm a fucking abuser too. Guaranteed. Because you better fucking believe I had to fucking choke her out a few fucking times. That shit got crazy. Hell yeah, it did. And I guarantee you that everybody here would probably think I'm a fucking crazy physical abuser too. Sure.
Oh, he's parked. Okay, Jesus.
I'm joking when I say this shit. Or people say like, oh, Destiny's happy that his best friend committed suicide when he was 20 because he jokes about it. It's like, I do joke about it. I joke about a lot of crazy shit. I joke about Reckful killing himself. There's also sad about it. So me and Hannah had been chatting maybe for on and off for like a year, had never been sexual ever, not even remotely sexual and anything ever. And then
I meant her accusing Destiny of doing it maliciously. She could be compromising her own case. Destiny has made it clear that it was not malicious. I don't know how that would compromise her case, but I'm not a fucking lawyer. So maybe you're more,
as of like,
maybe you're more like educated on the implications of that.
Got the dates on the messages. Was it like 2 months ago or 3 months ago?
It was, yeah.
I think she makes a joke with about Merck. Oh, and she deleted all those messages. Very clever. But she makes a joke about Merck and she's like, oh my God, I just saw you with that crazy girl Merck arguing with her. And then she's like, just so you know, I would.
Destiny trashed all his connections because they didn't like what happened. Well, it's like I feel like ABBA is a really good example of like how your behavior can ripple out and affects like other relationships too. It's like, put yourselves in the shoes of any creator that is, that rely on themselves as their brand to make money, like your livelihood. There are just practical, I mean, putting aside the morals of associating with this person or that person, which is an entirely separate conversation. When you're a creator, you are the person that is in charge of like all of your income, and all of your income revolves around your appeal. And if you associate with someone who is mired in this kind of controversy, there could be serious like material consequences for you. And so like, I feel like Destiny just put everybody that he associated with in a really tricky situation. Now, of course, I mean, this happened 5 years ago, whatever, but like, nonetheless, like we're still accountable to the things that we did years ago. And unless you're like a good friend of his, there's just like, there are so many legitimate reasons to put space between you and any creator that is embroiled in that kind of controversy. That's just something like practical consideration. I mean, again, that's just the moral argument is completely different. It's a totally different subject, but that's a question that like every creator has to ask themselves, because like in this like social media ecosystem, there are these vast interconnected networks. And so we're all like appearing on each other's stuff. And so you make these associations. And a lot of the times you make these associations, you don't really know much about the person that you're having a conversation with. You know, like maybe you saw a video of theirs and you really liked it and you're like, hey, do you want to collaborate? Let's talk about something. You're not doing a private detective. You're not doing like a background check on everybody that you have conversations with. And so when stuff like this comes up, and Destiny's not the first example of this. This is like something, when you do content creation and you don't live on an island and you collaborate with other people, this is just something that is going to happen over and over and over and over and over again. Like, you know, Destiny's not going to be the last person that I've collaborated with where there's going to be some stuff that comes out that paints them in a really poor light or creates some kind of controversy. And I'll have to make the same decision then that I do. And I make different decisions based on different circumstances or whatever. But yeah.
Never ever out any of your advances, LOL. And so when I see him as like, oh, that's a green light to flirt, I guess. And then I think our next conversation starts getting more flirty. And then she makes a reference to something about like videos or like, or something sexual or whatever. And I think I make the joke and I'm like, hey, listen, why are you looking for videos of me? They're still up on Kiwi Farms, LOL, which is true. But like, that was the extent of my message.
I can't prove anybody right or
I mean, that's, yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I guess that's true to a certain extent for people that even don't do content creation. You know, like people just that have normie 9-to-5 jobs have to think about these things as well. So it's just there's a public element to content creation that adds a layer of complexity that can change the calculus. Yeah.
wrong here because they both deleted messages, and to be fair to him, he didn't send anything. But if she said yes to the offer, would he have? That's up to you to decide.
Would never, I don't want to, I'm not going to drag any of these people, okay? But I will say, like, I don't want to do any, I'm not going to do any of those, okay? But like, there are so many girls.
When was this interview, by the way? Because it seems like this interview happened in the last like month. It seems like this is a recent interview, right?
That send me messages. I'm not even sure, but like, there's so many girls that send me messages like this when everything was leaking. Okay.
I don't know. I think the moral and business association argument should be one and the same. I mean, they're linked, right? But they're kind of separate, but they're linked, right? Yeah.
Hold on. You just sent me something.
When are the Hutch leaks coming? Listen, if any shit, and this isn't me just like doing like a holier than thou thing. Like, I mean, I've definitely done some shit that I would be judged harshly for by the internet when I was like in my 20s or maybe 30s or whatever. I feel like that's the case for everybody. But I've been shacked up with the same woman for 10 years now. My life is very boring, and I love that my life is very boring. It's incredible. If my shit hacked now, the biggest risk to me would be just what a nerd I am. Like people looking at my YouTube history and watching me watch like MCU film rumor videos 5 times a day. That'd be kind of embarrassing. Like if that, I'll tell you guys or whatever, but like 41-year-old dude watching like MCU rumor YouTube videos 5 times a day every day. And the other thing too is I have seen many a downfall of many a creator because of leaked stuff. I started seeing that really early on. Like it took a minute for it to start happening. Like YouTube celebrity or whatever was a novel thing still back in 2009. And there just wasn't a whole lot of this kind of drama that happened. But I remember back in 2011 thinking to myself, wait a second, like there's a lot more kind of famous YouTubers. And so the odds of there being something like a sex scandal, it's like, when are we going to have our first YouTube sex scandals? What I remember thinking about like in 2011, I was like, it's gonna happen at some point. And then I think like the first one was this, you remember the Shaytards? You guys remember I mean, iFly, that was a different kind of thing. That wasn't really like a leak, but you guys remember the Shay Carl? Remember that? And then he called his kids like little tards. That was fucking crazy in retrospect. Like his name was Shay Carl and he called his family the Shay Tards. And then there was like, he gave his kids like little tard names. So it was like baby tard. It was crazy. Like, and I remember thinking in the beginning, I was like, oh, this is kind of cute. And then I remember thinking like, actually, this is kind of dark. Like imagine growing up as a kid and your shit is just broadcast out to the internet in daily vlogs. Like I just remember thinking like, wait, I don't think I like this. Shay Carl was this guy who was like one of the OG vloggers. And he was, I think it was a Mormon. I don't think faith was a big part of the content. I don't think they talked about their faith. Wait, they still upload? Shh. Got it. No way. They still call themselves Shaytards. They still call themselves Shaytards. It's fucking crazy. Okay. Who came up with that name? All right, they're still trucking, man. They got through it. They powered through it. Good for them. I didn't know that. They're still rocking on the vlog channel. It's like 7 uploads a year or whatever. But I think it came out. I don't want to get the details wrong, but I think was cheating on his wife with a porn star in like sexting. I think he was caught sexting a porn star. And I don't even remember how this what started this conversation. So anyways, I started to see creator after creator after creator. Like I would watch some meltdown happen or some big controversy and it would scare the shit out of me. It was like scared straight, you know, like I'd be reading all these like personal, intimate details of
hypothetically, if there is a Hutch leak and there is no significant leftward curvature, I'm gonna feel lied to.
I can promise you, I have no nudes on my there's no dicks. I mean, definitely when I first got a cell phone, I was definitely taking a lot of pictures of my penis, for sure. I mean, I was like, it was, you know, a lot. Okay. This was with this like flip phone camera phones before I had like an iPhone in the late 2000s, you know. But I saw the downfall of many a creator, and so I would just like take notes. Don't do that. So like when DSP, when that whole thing, I almost have mad respect for that guy because he just weathered that storm, you know. Like I would never show my face on the internet ever again if something like that had happened to me. If you guys are unfamiliar, Darkside Phil was this guy who, you know, started up a stream and it was like an intro, like starting soon, and didn't realize that he had cam pointed at himself and he jacked it. Jacked his shit online, and it was like, and you couldn't see it. You could just see his face, which was kind of more disturbing because like all you saw was just like this. And then he walks over and then he realizes his mistake and he's like, oh, hey guys. Crazy, you know? So when that happened, I'm like, okay, that's a lesson. Never beat your shit on the same computer that you use for work. From that point on, I did not beat my shit using my work computer. I keep it completely segregated. And then for like private DM stuff, you know, like I've seen so many private DMs leak at this point that when I DM anybody, I mean, there's some DMs that would come out that would maybe be like a little embarrassing because it's just not something that I would want to talk about in public. But when it comes to private DMs, I'm just like, let's just proceed under the assumption that all of our correspondence will come out in a court hearing at some point in my life. And so I don't always do that, right? Like I'm not perfect, but like as a general rule of thumb, there are just certain things that I don't do because I've seen creators lose their entire careers because of these mistakes. And so if my shit were to leak, it would be so boring. I'm a fucking happily monogamous 41-year-old dude.